Saudi Aramco, officially the Saudi Arabian Oil Company, most popularly known as Aramco, is a Saudi Arabian national petroleum and natural gas company based in Dhahran, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Aramco's value has been estimated at up to $10 trillion in the Financial Times, making it the world's most valuable company. Saudi Aramco has both the world's largest proven crude oil reserves, at more than 260 billion barrels, and largest daily oil production. Headquartered in Dhahran, Saudi Arabia, Saudi Aramco operates the world's largest single hydrocarbon network, the Master Gas System. Its yearly production is 3.479 billion barrels, and it managed over 100 oil and gas fields in Saudi Arabia, including 284.8 trillion standard cubic feet of natural gas reserves. Saudi Aramco owns the Ghawar Field, the world's largest oil field, and the Shaybah Field, another one of the world's largest oil fields. History: Saudi Aramco's origins trace to the oil shortages of World War I and the exclusion of American companies from Mesopotamia by the San Remo Petroleum Agreement of 1920. The U.S. Republican administration had popular support for an A-Open Door A-Euro unregistered trademark policy, which Herbert Hoover, Secretary of Commerce, initiated in 1921. Standard Oil of California was among those U.S. companies actively seeking new sources of oil from abroad. SoCal, through its subsidiary company, the Bahrain Petroleum Company, struck oil on Bahrain in May 1932. This event heightened interest in the oil prospects of the Arabian mainland. On May 29, 1933, the Saudi Arabian government granted a concession to SoCal in preference to a rival bid from the Iraq Petroleum Company. The concession allowed SoCal to explore for oil in Saudi Arabia. SoCal assigned this concession to a wholly owned subsidiary called California Arabian Standard Oil Company in 1936, with the company having had no success at locating oil. The Texas Oil Company purchased a 50% stake of the concession. After 4 years of fruitless exploration, the first success came with the 7th drill site in Dhahran in 1938, a well referred to as Dammam No. 7. This well immediately produced over 1,500 barrels per day, giving the company confidence to continue. On January 31, 1944, the company name was changed from California Arabian Standard Oil Company to Arabian-American Oil Company in 1948. SoCal and Texaco were joined as investors by Standard Oil of New Jersey, which purchased 30% of the company, and SoCal Vacuum, which purchased 10% of the company, leaving SoCal and Texaco with 30% each. The newcomers were also shareholders in the Iraq Petroleum Company and had to get the restrictions of the Red Line Agreement lifted in order to be free to enter into this arrangement. In 1950, King Abdulaziz threatened to nationalize his country's oil facilities, thus pressuring Aramco to agree to share profits 50/50. A similar process had taken place with American oil companies in Venezuela a few years earlier. The American government granted U.S. Aramco member companies a tax break known as the Golden Gimmick, equivalent to the profits given to King Abdulaziz. In the wake of the new arrangement, the company's headquarters were moved from New York to Dhahran. In 1973, following U.S. support for Israel during the Yom Kippur War, the Saudi Arabian government acquired a 25% stake in Aramco. It increased its shareholding to 60% by 1974, and finally took full control of Aramco by 1980, by acquiring a 100% stake in the company. Aramco partners continued to operate and manage Saudi Arabia's oil fields. In November 1988, a royal decree changed its name from Arabian-American Oil Company to Saudi Arabian Oil Company and took the management and operations control of Saudi Arabia's oil and gas fields from Aramco and its partners. It officially cut all oil supply to Israel the same year by order of the CEO. Following the events that unfolded in 1988, Saudi Aramco became a fully owned, privately held company. Saudi Aramco was the world's largest company with an estimated market value of $781 billion in 2005. Timeline: 1932 oil is discovered in Bahrain. SoCal begins a year-long series of negotiations with the Saudi government. 1933 Saudi Arabia grants oil concession to California Arabian-Standard Oil Company, affiliate of Standard Oil of California. Oil prospecting begins on Kingdom's east coast. 1936 Texas Oil Company acquires 50% interest in Sokol's Concession. The joint venture became known as the California-Texas Oil Company, or Coltex. 1938 Kingdom's first commercial oil field discovered at Dhahran. Crude is exported by barge to Bahrain. 1939 First tanker load of petroleum is exported. 1944 CASIP changes its name to Arabian-American Oil Colorado. 1945 Ras Tanura refinery begins operations. 1948 Standard Oil of New Jersey and Socony Vacuum Oil join Sokol and Texaco as owners of Aramco. 1950 1,700 km Trans-Arabian pipeline is completed, linking Eastern Province oil fields to Lebanon and the Mediterranean. 1950 the U.S. government bestows upon the U.S. member companies a tax break equivalent to 50% of oil profits, a deal known as the Golden Gimmick. 1956 Aramco confirms scale of Ghawar and s-Saʿūdiyyah, the largest onshore and the largest offshore field in the world, respectively. 1961 Liquefied petroleum gas propane and butane is first processed at Ras Tanura and shipped to customers. 1966 Tankers begin calling at Sea Island, new offshore crude oil loading platform off Ras Tanura. 1973 Saudi government acquires 25% interest in Aramco. 1975 Master gas system problem is launched. 1980 Saudi government acquires 100% participation interest in Aramco, purchasing almost all of the company's assets. 1981 East-West pipelines, built for Aramco natural gas liquids and crude oil, link Eastern Province fields with Yanbu on the Red Sea. 1982 King Fahd visits Saudi Aramco, Dhahran, on Aramco's 50th anniversary to inaugurate the Exploration and Petroleum Engineering Center, a milestone in the Saudization of the company's operations. 1984 company acquires its first 4 supertankers. 1987 East-West crude oil pipeline expansion project is completed, boosting capacity to 3.2 million barrels per day. 1988 Saudi Arabian Oil Company, or Saudi Aramco, is established. 1988 oil supply to Israel is officially ceased by order of the President and CEO. 1989 1990 high-quality oil and gas are discovered in 3 areas south of Riyadh the Rugib area about 77 miles southeast of the capital. 1991 company plays major role combating Gulf War oil spill, the world's largest. 1992 East-West crude oil pipeline capacity is boosted to 5 million barrels per day. Saudi Aramco affiliate purchases 35% interest in Sanyong Oil Refining Company in the Republic of Korea. 1993 Saudi Aramco takes charge of Kingdom's domestic refining, marketing, distribution and joint venture refining interests by buying Jeddah-based Saudi Arabian Marketing and Refining Company. The company also assumed the Saudi Arabian government's 50% share of the Jubail Export Refining Company, which becomes the Saudi Aramco Shell Refining Colorado. 1994 maximum sustained crude oil production capacity is returned to 10 million barrels per day. Company acquires a 40% equity interest in Petron, largest refiner in the Philippines. 1995 company completes a program to build 15 very large crude carriers. Saudi Aramco President and CEO Ali Al-Naimi is named the Kingdom's Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, and Chairman of Saudi Aramco. Abdullah S. Umrah is named the CEO, President, and Director of Saudi Aramco. 1996 Saudi Aramco acquires 50% of Motor Oil Corinth refineries and Avon Oil from the Vardan Oyanis family. Company also assumes controlling interest in 2 Jeddah-based lubricants companies, now known as Saudi Aramco Lubricating Oil Refining Company and Saudi Arabian Lubricating Oil Colorado. 1998 Saudi Aramco, Texaco and Shell establish Motiva Enterprises LLC, a major refining and marketing joint venture in the southern and eastern United States. 1999 HRH Crown Prince Abd Allah inaugurates the Shaybah Field in the Rub al Khali Desert, one of the largest projects of its kind in the world, goes on stream. The Dhahran Riyadh Qasim multi-product pipeline and the Ras Tanura upgrade project are completed. The second Saudi Aramco mobile lubricating oil refinery in Yanbu commences operations. 2000 Petroleum Intelligence Weekly ranks the company the first in the world for the 11th straight year, for the country's crude oil reserves and production. Aramco Gulf Operations Limited is established to administer the government's petroleum interest in the offshore neutral zone between Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. New facilities are under construction in the Harad and Hawaya gas plant projects to process gas for delivery to the master gas system and to domestic markets. 2001 Hawaya gas plant, capable of processing up to 1.6 billion SCF per day of non-associated gas, comes on stream. 2003 Harad gas plant completed 2.5 months ahead of schedule. 2004 HRH Crown Prince Abd Ali ibn Abd al-Aziz Al Saud, first Deputy Prime Minister and head of the National Guard, inaugurates the 800,000 barrel per day Qatif Abu Saifa producing plants mega project. In addition to the crude, the plants provide 370 million SCF of associated gas daily. 2005 Saudi Aramco and Sumitomo Chemical Company, Limited sign a joint venture agreement for the development of a large, integrated refining and petrochemical complex in the Red Sea town of Rab, on Saudi Arabia's west coast. This becomes known as Petro Rab. 2006 Saudi Aramco and Sumitomo Chemical break ground on Media, Petrorab, an integrated refining petrochemical project. Harad 3 completed, yielding 300,000 BBLD of oil. Accords signed for 2 export refineries at Jubel and in Yanbu. 2007 Saudi Aramco subsidiary Saudi Aramco Sino Company Limited signs agreements with ExxonMobil, Singwood Corporation and the Fujian Provincial Government of China to form 2 joint ventures, Fujian Refining and Petrochemical Company Limited, a refining and petrochemicals venture, and Singwood Xenmeri Petroleum Company Limited, a marketing venture. 2008 Saudi Aramco celebrates the 75th anniversary of May 29, 1933, signing of the oil concession between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Standard Oil of California. King Abdullah visits Dhahran to celebrate the 75th anniversary. 2009 CEO inaugurates KAUST, King Abdullah University of Science and Technology, where many high-profile guest, state leaders, kings, and scholars attended the ceremony. 2009 Saudi Aramco reaches 12 MBBLD capacity after completing an expansion program. Also, Petrorab, the company's first petrochemical plant, a partnership with Sumitomo Chemical Company, Limited, begins production. 2010 Saudi Aramco unveils Gigapower Ascent and runs a first field test of Resbots Ascent. 2011 Saudi Aramco starts production from Dhahran gas field, with an output of more than 400 million SCF per day. 2011 Saudi Aramco is officially named the world's largest and most valuable privately owned company. Saudi Aramco is said to be monopolizing the world's energy market. 2011 Saudi Aramco raised selling prices for all crude grades for customers in Asia and Northwest Europe for April shipments and cut prices for customers in the U.S. 2012 Saudi Aramco was ranked by Forbes as the first among the world's largest oil companies. 2013 Saudi Aramco Asia Company Limited, which is a subsidiary of Saudi Aramco, has announced that it plans to set up an $8 billion joint venture with Pertamina, which is Indonesia's state oil and gas company. 2013 Saudi Aramco makes its largest contract ever to Siemens for power plants components, totaling $966.8 million. 2014 Saudi Aramco purchases 18% share of Brunei LNG Limited from Sultanate of Brunei for $639 million. Operation. Saudi Aramco is headquartered in Dhahran, and its operations span the globe, which include exploration, producing, refining, chemicals, distribution and marketing. All these activities of the company are monitored by the Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources together with the Supreme Council for Petroleum and Minerals. However, the ministry has much more responsibility in this regard than the council. Exploration. A significant portion of the Saudi Aramco workforce consists of geophysicists and geologists. Saudi Aramco has been exploring for oil and gas reservoirs since 1982. Most of this process takes place at the Exploration and Petroleum Engineering Center. Originally, Saudi Aramco used Cray supercomputers in its EXPEC computer center to assist in processing the colossal quantity of data obtained during exploration, and in 2001, ECC decided to use Linux clusters as a replacement for the decommissioned Cray systems. ECC installed a new supercomputing system in late 2009 with a disk storage capacity of 1,050 terabytes, the largest storage installation in Saudi Aramco's history to support its exploration in the frontier areas and the Red Sea. Refining and chemicals. While the company did not originally plan on refining oil, the Saudi government wished to have only one company dealing with oil production. Therefore, on July 1, 1993, the government issued a royal decree merging Saudi Aramco with s-Saʿūdiyyah, the country's oil refining company. The following year, a Saudi Aramco subsidiary acquired a 40% equity interest in Petron Corporation, the largest crude oil refiner and marketer in the Philippines. Since then, Saudi Aramco has taken on the responsibility of refining oil and distributing it in the country. Currently, Saudi Aramco's refining capacity is more than 4 million barrels per day, domestic joint ventures, 1,108 mpbd, and wholly owned domestic operations, 995 mbbld. This figure is set to increase as more projects go online. Additionally, Saudi Aramco's downstream operations are shifting its emphasis to integrate refineries with petrochemical facilities. Their first venture into it is with PetroRab, which is a joint venture with Sumitomo Chemical Company. That began in 2005 on the coast of the Red Sea. List of refineries. List of domestic refineries. Jeddah Refinery nominal capacity. Ras Tanura Refinery, includes a crude distillation unit, a gas condensate unit, a hydrocracker, and catalytic reforming. Riyadh Refinery. Yanbu Refinery. List of domestic refining ventures, the Saudi Aramco Mobile Refinery Company Limited, Yanbu, the Saudi Aramco Shell Refinery Company, Jubail, PetroRab, Rab, Saudi Aramco Lubricating Oil Refining Company. Saudi Aramco Total Refining and Petrochemical Company, Jubail, Yanbu Aramco Singwood Refinery, Yanbu July 11, 2012, List of international refining ventures. Fujian Refining and Petrochemical Company, People's Republic of China, Singwood Mary Petroleum Company Limited, People's Republic of China, Motiva Enterprises LLC, United States, Showa Shell, Japan, S-Oil, Republic of Korea, Shipping. Saudi Aramco has employed several tankers to ship crude oil, refined oil and gas to various countries. It has created a wholly owned subsidiary company, Vela International Marine Limited, to handle shipping to North America, Europe and Asia. Research and development. Saudi Aramco has taken a keen interest in optimizing its processes over the last decade. To this end, it has employed about 500 engineers and scientists specializing in different aspects of the hydrocarbon industry. There are two R&D entities in Saudi Aramco: 1, Exploration and Petroleum Engineering Center Advanced Research Center, which is solely managed by exploration and producing and focuses on upstream research, and 2, the Research and Development Center, which focuses on downstream research and includes bio-research. Leading research undertaken at these two major facilities provides Saudi Aramco with competitive technology solutions throughout the vast range of its petroleum-related activities. Saudi Aramco patents. Saudi Aramco patents. In 2010, Saudi Aramco was granted its 100th patent. Notable patents that Saudi Aramco holds are: 1. Gigapower sent. The EXPEC arcade debuted Gigapower sent on January 23, 2010 to a live audience at their auditorium. Gigapower sent is a second-generation innovation of Powers that was created in 1997 and is a high-resolution reservoir simulator to model and predict the performance of supergiant reservoirs. Gigapower sent did that job with gigacell reservoir simulation technology, which meant that the models could hold more information and produce better reservoir simulations. Gigapower's ascent set a new industry record for being able to simulate reservoirs at seismic or near-seismic resolution. Previously, scientists simulated this by averaging the simulation model cells in order to reduce their number, thus reducing the amount of information in the model. However, with the innovation of Gigapower's ascent, models of more than 1 billion cells were simulated. This makes it easier to study the performance and predict the behavior of oil fields, so that engineers and scientists can create better strategies when producing those fields. 2. Resbot's ascent. Other services. Saudi Aramco provides various services to its employees, the community, government agencies and private companies which it interfaces with. It maintains several large high-tech hospitals and provides health insurance for its employees worldwide. It also maintains multiple fire stations, both industrial and residential, a Western-style educational system, and provides employees with various recreational facilities such as golf, movie theaters, bowling alleys, multi-purpose buildings and so on. Saudi Aramco introduced its elite security over 2 decades ago. This security force has been militarily trained abroad and primarily ensures the safety of the company's industrial and residential areas as well as the families of senior management officials. Saudi Aramco has operations all over the world. It often needs to transport employees between operations. To do this, it owns and operates a fleet of 79 airplanes and 20 helicopters, and 2 airports in the United States, as well as aviation facilities at 5 international airports in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Aramco has intensive career development programs under its Career Development Department. These includes PDP for fresh graduates and ADP for master and PhD studies. This program played a central part in transfer of jobs from expatriates to Saudi Arab nationals. To maintain relations with the Saudi Arab government, the company's government affairs organization was set up. It handles nearly all correspondence between Saudi Aramco and others, performs official translations and distribution of correspondence for company action and information, and coordinates meetings between company staff, government officials, private and corporate visitors. Associated companies subsidiaries, Aramco Services Company headquarters in Houston. Aramco Far East Business Services Company Limited headquarters in Beijing. Aramco Overseas Company. BV headquarters in The Hague. Aramco Associated Company. Aramco Training Services Company. Motiva Enterprises, Saudi Refining, Incorporated. Aramco Financial Services Company, a wholly owned subsidiary of Saudi Refining Incorporated. Saudi Petroleum International Incorporated headquarters in New York. Bolenter Corporation. NV, Pandawood Corporation. NV, Saudi Petroleum Overseas Limited headquarters in London. Vela International Marine Limited headquarters in Dubai. Leadership. The Supreme Council for Petroleum and Minerals Affairs sets the company's broadest policy and objectives. The Council's executive management members are drawn from the Saudi Arabian government and the private sector. List of President and CEOs that led Saudi Aramco up to now: Hisham Nazar, Ali Al-Naimi, Abdullah S. Umrah, Khalid A. Al-Falih. Environmental record. The company has an environmental master plan to reduce the emissions provided by capital programs, some of which has already been completed. Saudi Aramco is a leading company in the region in reducing sulfur emissions, CO2, and flaring. Also, a CEO dashboard complemented by an annual environmental report shows the exact environmental statistics and key performance indicators in terms of air and seawater pollutions. Financial data. The FT's non-public 150 by the Financial Times and McKinsey, the study of the world unregistered trademark's largest unlisted companies 2006. Financial data, fiscal year end, December, revenue, $182 billion ist, employees, 55,441, employee growth, 4.50%, oil reserves, 259.9 billion barrels, production, 12.0 million barrels per day. Cyber attack. Aramco computers were attacked by a virus on August 15, 2012. The following day Aramco announced that none of the infected computers were part of the network directly tied to oil production, and that the company would soon resume full operations. Hackers claimed responsibility for the spread of the computer virus. The virus hit companies within the oil and energy sectors. A group named Cutting Sword of Justice claimed responsibility for an attack on 30,000 Saudi Aramco workstations, causing the company to spend a week restoring their services. The group later indicated that the Shamoon virus had been used in the attack. Due to this attack, the main site of Aramco went down and a message came to the home page apologizing to customers. Computer security specialists said that the attack, known as Shamoon, is said to have hit at least one organization in the sector. Shamoon is capable of wiping files and rendering several computers on a network unusable. See also. References. Bibliography, Vitalis, Robert. America's Kingdom, Myth-Making on the Saudi Oil Frontier. Stanford, Stanford University Press. ISBN A0-8047-5446-2. External links, Saudi Aramco oil drilling jobs, website of Aramco Services Company. Saudi Aramco's U.S. subsidiary. A CNN report about the security of oil in Saudi Arabia. Much of it is about Saudi Aramco security. Saudi Arabia's crude oil production chart, data sourced from the U.S. Department of Energy, CBS 60 Minutes. The Oil Kingdom, Part 1. CBS 60 Minutes. The Oil Kingdom, Part 2.